Hey guys, this is Locke. This video is going to attempt to answer the question, Garvall or Nivlu. And first of all, I mean, there is no right answer to this question, but I have seen a lot of discussions around this topic about which of the two units to choose. I've seen it in comments on my own video that I picked on who people should be choosing. I've seen it in Reddit, in Discord, and all over the places. So I thought it would be worthwhile to make a video talking about the two units and maybe helping you decide why you should pick one or the other. First of all, I'm going to start by talking about Garvall and saying why he's such a fantastic unit and why I actually invested in him. So as his banner rolled around, I knew the Final Fantasy X banner was just around the corner, where Tidus and Yuna would be coming, and I was not expecting to invest in Yuna. And the reason for that is because, it seemed like it would be hectic to pull her, so I was not planning on pulling for her. And there was a 9-step banner that featured both Garvall and El Sorel, and I liked both units, so I figured I would go for the 9-step banner. Ended up getting both and ended up building them. But I always wanted Garvall, like even before the 9-step banner. I was like, I really want to get him and I really want to invest in him. And the reason I wanted to do that was because he fills a lot of things that I'm looking for in a team and that I really needed. For example, he has 50% resistance to charm. And especially as a player that does a lot of manual battles, I encounter charm teams here and there, sometimes all the time depending on the map set, and so I really wanted somebody that has resistance to charm. Garvall was a good pick for that. On top of that, I also see a lot of evade teams. Again, mostly in manual matches, but it could also be in like some tower kind of content, and he has a great effect, a great ability, which is, where did it go? This one. So not only is this a guaranteed hit, it's an AoE guaranteed hit, and all other guaranteed hit effects that we have, except for like Ramsa's ultimate, is a single target guaranteed hit. So a lot of people have been putting like single target resistance on their evade teams to try to mitigate the damage from guaranteed hit sources. So this gets through that. So first of all, he does very high damage. He is resistant to charm. He has a AoE guaranteed effect, and his TMR is one of the best TMRs right now because it gives you up to 50% magic attack resistance. So if you encounter a unit with 100% magic resistance, if you put this on for 3 turns, you can negate 50% of that, which is huge. And even if they have zero magic attack, if they have zero magic attack resistance, this still increases your own magic by 40% as well. So even still, it will always be a boost to any unit's magic damage. So like I could put this on like Halloween Leela or Ildira or like anybody, and it would just be fantastic. So for all those reasons, I really wanted to get him, and I did, and I leveled up to 99. And then Yuna came around, and because of the 9-step banner, I thought, you know what, I'll give it a shot, and I ended up getting her too. And just the way things were, like I already had a lot of her shards from that 9-step banner. I think I got like 240 shards there. I was able to get 240 extra shards from the the challenge board, and so I ended up raising her to 99. I then was able to, long story short, I basically got her to 120, right? And so I'm assuming that players that start today, or well, not today, but a week ago, brand new players, I'm assuming that you have Yuna. Like I would assume that you rerolled for Yuna, and so I feel like both of those units share a lot of things in common. So let's take a look at Yuna. Yuna has 50% resistance to charm as well, so that's it's very good. And like I could. Like both of them are different units, but it's great that they both have 50% resistance to charm, so I could use either one against charm team, or I could also use both as well. And she has this ability, Energy Ray, which is also a, why can't I click on the damn thing? Okay. Energy Ray, which is also an AoE guaranteed hit. Now it is only one cast, I can only use it once per battle, but it is still an AoE guaranteed hit effect. And she has, she has other guaranteed hit effects as well. She has Holy, and on her Kotodama sub, she has another guaranteed hit. Both of these are single target. I mean, her TMR is also very good, but it does a totally different thing. It's a defensive TMR, whereas Garvall's is an offensive TMR. But whenever I'm building teams, especially for like PvP scenarios, I find that like this team, for example, like I really want to use Titus, and I thought I would use Yuna because both of them are like level 120, so I figured why not. And then I was thinking, should I use Garvall? And I find a lot of the strengths of Garvall I have in Yuna. So like I could put Garvall in this team, but I could also put a Quickener and have the Quickener quicken Yuna and have her go again. And the Quickener, it just so happens that the Quickener is very useful such that she can do a lot of other things. So that's why a lot of the times I end up not using Garvall. I end up using Yuna, and I end up using Quickener. Like I'd rather have a Quickener with Yuna than having Yuna and Garvall together on most PvP teams. But again, this is all I'm talking about. All that I'm talking about right now is PvP. I will get to PvE in a little bit. But I'm just giving you my own personal experiences to talk about why I don't use Garvall as much anymore. I still think he's a fantastic unit. I mean, I went for him because I thought it was a fantastic unit. And I was not expecting to get Yuna, but I got Yuna, and I find that I sideline Garvall for Yuna a lot of the times. But I mean, there might be content where I just need a dark unit. Maybe I know I'll be facing light teams and I want somebody with a dark magic attack, so I will use Garvall. Like I don't really have any other choice to use besides him, right? And maybe I'm just fighting so many evade teams that I want to use two guaranteed hit units, so I would use Yuna and Garvall. And it's great that I can put like magic attack cards or something, and both of them will get a benefit from it. So you know, but like I've been sharing personally like how I've been building teams and why I pick one over the other. But now I'm going to talk about a PvE scenario. In a PvE scenario, like for example the trials going on right now, right? Like if you're a new player and you are tackling trials, if you're using say Titus, Yuna, and Garvall, sure, Garvall and Yuna will do a lot of damage, and they're both magic attack. Unfortunately, magic attack for some reason just doesn't chain. You can't chain magic attacks. You can only chain element with magic attack for some reason. So if you have two light magic attacks, the light part of that will chain, but the magic part of that will not chain for some reason. I don't know why it's coded that way, but that's just how it is. Whereas, for example, if you have two light slashers, both of them will get the light chains and the slash chains. It just doesn't work for magic. So Garvall will do a lot of damage, Yuna will do a lot of damage, and they will both benefit from the magic up or magic cards, but they won't chain each other, unfortunately. You can also have him chain with like missile attacks as well, because he has missiles, so I guess that's also an added benefit. But if you guys have seen the video where I did like my recommended starter team and how I can tackle this boss, Nivlu has so much things in her arsenal to tackle this boss for a starting player. Let's just go through some of the skills and how you can and how they help with this boss in particular. I didn't know this boss was coming out. I didn't know the skills it had, but it just so happens that Nivlu has like so many counters to it. First of all, slow shot. You reduce its agility so that he takes less turns, so you can build higher chains. Next up is her, where is it? Barrier break. If you have seen the counter ability of the boss, whenever you hit it, it has a chance to attack back and creates a shield on itself that negates a portion of your damage that you do for 3 hits. If you use this barrier break ability, it breaks that shield. So now like if you use it right away when he uses his counter, like it breaks the shield and then does damage. So you actually don't have you don't do any none of your damage is mitigated from his shield. So like already that would increase his damage. So you have something that would slow him down, you have something that would break his shield. If he happened to have like a defensive buff that he put on himself, you can use this to remove that buff. Again, you can also use like Quicken. Where's Quicken? quicken to give Yuna another turn. So this way, Yuna will cast, say, Holy, and then it finishes casting, and it's Nivlu's turn, and Nivlu casts Quicken on Yuna, and she casts Holy again, or even like her other skill like Sonic Wings. She casts Holy ×2, or she casts Sonic Wing ×2. That damage will actually chain. So not only will she will attack twice, but the damage on the second hit, if it's a Holy damage again, it will chain for extra damage. So I think that's good. And on top of that, she also has haste. So if you have if it just so happens that your turn orders are not great for wanting to quicken a unit again, you can just use haste, which would increase their turns overall for 3 whole turns, right? And you don't even have to use it on Yuna. You could also use it on Titus. You can use Quicken on Titus. You can use haste on Titus. Well, Titus already has like an AoE haste, so probably better to just use his haste. But you can choose the targets you want to quicken. Like say if you get another boss that is just weak to water attacks, or it's weak to like physical attacks, like it has a high spirit but low defense, and instead of having Yuna attack twice, you want Titus to attack twice. You go for quicken, and you can have him attack twice. So you can see the flexibility that Nivlu provides for PvE content, especially like hard content like bosses. Thinking from a new player's perspective, I'm assuming you have Titus, I'm assuming you have Yuna, so you have a good bruiser, you have a good physical damage dealer, and then you have a healer and a magic damage dealer. So adding a second magic damage dealer, I mean, it's good. Like, there's nothing bad about Garvall at all. Like, he's a fantastic unit, and I have no complaints about him whatsoever. But just thinking from a new player's perspective of these are the units that you have, what's the third unit that you can add to that team? I personally feel that Nivlu would be adding a lot. So that's why I very highly recommend Nivlu. But as I said in the beginning of the video, there is no wrong answer. Like, you don't have to go for Nivlu, you don't have to go for Garvall, you can go for any unit you want. There really isn't any bad units. For example, a lot of people have been saying that Kiza is only good for her TMR. Now her X job came out, and apparently she does a ton of damage. That she is able to one-shot Yuna. That's what I've heard. I haven't looked into it, so I mean, you guys have to do the research to figure that out. But like, she is very relevant now, if that is the case, right? Rob with his X job and the card that's coming out, I've already done a review on that and how powerful that is, right? Even like Marcherie has been like, everyone has been talking about how she is like one of the worst units in the game, and by far I kind of agree. She is pretty bad, but with her X coming out, it makes her a lot better, and she is probably the best at status effects. So if you've seen my team about how to tackle light teams, and I'm using a status effect water team, if you use her, you can probably negate that dispel. You can probably dispel that disable. So maybe you can have a team with like her and Yuna and a tank, and maybe that would work. I don't know. Like as you can see, I haven't like looked at her really. Like, I haven't even leveled up her job levels, but I'm just giving you an idea that like there probably is a way to use every unit in the game. You just kind of have to figure out what you want, what you think is good for your roster of units, and what you think will help them the most. But another way to think about it is just like, what is your favorite unit? Like, for example, you might really like the design of Miranda, and maybe you really want to go for her. Do it. I mean, like, I think she's a good unit. There's a lot of places, especially in PvE, that I've used Miranda, especially her LB, which has an AoE confuse. So she is very tanky. Like, you can't go wrong really by picking your favorite unit, or whatever it would be that interests you to continue playing the game, to invest time into the game. I think that's what you should do. I'm just looking at it from my experience, and like from playing all these units. Like, I've played Garvall, I played Nivlu, and I played Nivlu extensively, both in PvP and PvE, and I just find that for a person that's already starting out with Yuna and Titus, I personally feel that Nivlu would add a lot just because of all the skills that she has. Because you don't need another damage dealer. You already have two very good damage dealers. That's what I find. So discussions came about with Garvall having access to his gloves, which is in the anniversary shop. I think you can find his gloves right here. So you can buy the +5 dark gloves for 3000 Visior, and you have him at, like, as a very strong damage dealer. And that's fair. Like, I think he would do very well. I think you would have a very strong magic team that can do a lot of stuff. But as I said, I've talked about why I feel Nivlu is could be more beneficial for your team. And then it's, at the end of the day, it's really up to you what you decide is good. So that is those are my thoughts on those two units. Let me know what you guys think. And at some point, I would actually like to do a Q&A session with some, like, commonly asked questions. So if you have questions, not just about this topic, but in general, please leave them in the comments, and I will do a question and answer. Hopefully, if there's enough questions, I can do a question and answer video at some point. But I'll see what I can do. But feel free to comment about this video, about questions about this video, or questions in general, and I will do my best to get back to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, I hope you like and subscribe. That's it from me for now, so I hope you have a good day. Take care now.